welcome to another episode of the Grunge Bible Podcast. My name is Ethan Shalloway. I'm joined, as usual, by Chris Salona. This is episode 77, and I think we're excited for this one, right, Chris?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we're back. Yeah. I mean, we thought it was over for a little bit, but we're back.
We are back. Yeah, this is we're recording. What day is today? Is August 31st. It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, last day of August.
Last day of August. So that's pretty cool. We do love when September comes around. So this will be, we'll be right in the thick of this thick of September when it comes out.
Yeah,
I believe September 12th.
The 12th of September, this puppy's coming out into the world. So we'll be rolling right along.
September is, I think it's your favorite. I don't want to speak for you, but September is my favorite month.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't speak for me because it's not my favorite month.
I think I remember you saying this.
Yeah.
I like September because football's starting back up. It is our birthday month.
That's true.
And it's the end of summer, so it starts cooling off a little bit. The humidity kind of starts leaving.
Yeah.
At least in Pennsylvania. Alabama,
don't get me wrong. I
bit.
like September. It's just not my favorite.
What's your favorite?
It's got to be June or July, I think. August is good too. August
is really good. Yeah.
I like August. I had a good August. I had a good June and July.
Like the dog days of summer.
Yeah, man. Give me the heat. Give it to me.
Nice. Well, that's good to know. This is a good month because obviously our birthdays come up on September 28th. We share a birthday. I think you guys probably know this by now if you've been following for a while. Maybe not, but pretty unreal that we not only are best friends but have the same birthday.
Yeah, those are some long odds that happened the way it did.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like, I don't know what the odds of having a best friend is. Probably even smaller.
Probably pretty high. A lot of people don't even have a best friend. So
yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah.
So today we are going to be talking about the Smashing Pumpkins, an episode
at long last, baby.
Yeah, dude. The people have been asking. We've denied them hose water, as we like to say.
Yeah, we had a few people join the Patreon, and specific. I believe specifically to request that we do a Smashing Pumpkins episode. We had a $2 patron that joined, and then 5 minutes later requested the Pumpkins on the post where we were soliciting the suggestions from the people. So I hope this makes them happy in particular.
Yeah, I totally agree. This one's for them. And I'm excited. I do like the Smashing Pumpkins quite a bit, so we're going to get into what songs and what albums we like the most, a lot of the early stuff, obviously. Yeah. But before we do that, we do have some people to thank our sponsors, which, like you said last time, we are completely independently funded, no corporations here.
None of that.
Just the hardworking people of the world that support Grunge Bible.
Absolutely.
Grunge Bible podcast, Grunge Bible Enterprises,
the
all
Grunge
of it.
Bible media universe. Yeah, we don't take money from the corporations. We don't take money from lobbyists, super PACs, anything like that. We're for music fans just like us, because that's really all we are. We are not the historical sources.
Exactly.
We're just here to talk about music, because life's about people and life's about art, and that's what we're here for. So the running list, as we like to keep here, of the top level patrons who keep this thing going, episode 77, in honor of the great Raymond Bork. We would like to thank Faith Bittner, Chris LSMS, Sonny Mashburn, Kayla Jean, Alexis Shannon, Marianne, Nikki Six, Release Millie, Lauren Irene, Captain Hightop, Black Hole Sean, Doug Endy, Jade Mercado, Alex Long, Darian Riddle, Rachel Corning, Fuck Soup, Wayne Staley, our number one fan from Australia, What the Fuck is Up Denny's, Jamie Lynn, Fresh Tendonitis, Seattle 4 fanboy from New Jersey, Carlene Salona, Kara K, The Blue Owl, Brother Nature, Kitty Cooper, Eddie Vedder got me through my second divorce, Shoe the Shoeless, and I Hate Your Mom. That's the list.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're in our corner. They're fighting for us each and every day.
Yep. If there are people that we can count on in our world, it's
because that's the thing. A lot of times people will tell you that they're in your corner, and people will tell you that they're fighting for you, but they don't back it up. I mean, that list of people that I just read, they tell us and they remind us once a month with their donation to us.
Yeah, and we have a few friends and family sprinkled in there.
Yeah,
but percentage wise, it's a bunch of people that don't know us personally.
Exactly.
So I always find that interesting that our.
Yeah. I like that though.
Yeah, of course. So do I.
Well, I actively campaign amongst my friends and family for them to not listen. Like I don't they get enough of me in the day to day. They don't need to listen to me, my mindless drivel about the Smashing Pumpkins, for example, and Billy Corgan.
It's just not for them, I guess.
No, it's not. It might be though. Who knows?
So if you are sitting there listening and you go, you know what, these guys are funny, these guys are great, and I want to be one of those supporters. Well, today is your day, and it's pretty easy. Just follow the links in our bio, and you'll find a way to join the Patreon.
There's and in $2, the show notes, $5, it's that easy.
And the show notes, yeah. So or just send us a message, and I'll send you the link. But maybe today's the day that you ante up $2, $5, $10.
Yeah.
3 different levels. So that would just mean the world to us. It would really be an amazing mid-September gift. So think about that and let us know, and we'll bring it up at the end of the episode if you make it that far.
It will be fantastic.
So I say we just get right into this, Chris. Well, actually, we do have a little housekeeping. You want to talk about the road trip is upon us.
That's true. Yeah, it's here, basically.
It's tough because, this is coming out 2 weeks before we actually leave. Right now we're 4 weeks. We're within a month though. And actually, as this is being recorded, we are 3 days away from the Wembley Stadium,
right?
Taylor Hawkins tribute show. So they're getting geared up over there to have a special night. And I was thinking about it the other day too, Chris. It's going to be really special. We have some other things planned. We're going to Colorado, then driving, and have another 2 other concerts we're going to go to. But this is planned around one of our favorite bands, favorite genres, and a really influential drummer that we lost. And it's going to be really special. We've watched videos of the Cornell tributes, and I think sometimes this isn't a concert we're going to. We're not going to see the Foo Fighters. We are going to a tribute for a human being that we lost, and it's going to be emotional. I really don't know how I'm going to feel when the day comes. It's going to be really special, though.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's funny because we've had the tickets for a little while. We've made the plans for a while. We've had a lot of the major cogs in the wheel planned for a good bit of time here. And honestly, I've been so busy that I haven't really thought about it a whole lot in terms of what it's going to feel like and what to expect. And honestly, I don't really know that I want to think about it a whole lot beforehand. And for example, with the upcoming Wembley show, I don't think I'm going to watch it. I've been going back and forth, and people have been DMing are you going to watch this week? I'm so excited. I don't really want to watch it. Number one, because I want to go into the one that I'm attending fresh, and I know there's a lot of crossover with who's going to be at both of them, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to watch it. I don't know if I'm going to post highlights of it, for example.
Right.
It's going to be available on YouTube. I think MTV's channel's carrying. It's going to be on Peacock, Paramount, whatever the hell, all that shit. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to watch it, but I'm getting excited. I haven't thought specifically or studied the list of who's going to be there, really, to be completely honest with you. I almost prefer it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm anticipating it, but I'm not anticipating specific parts of it, because I think just to be able to go there and go in there fresh, I think it'll be cool and real cathartic.
And we'll give a good review after the fact, and we'll talk about it. So that time will come. But I agree. I think I'm going to go into this one with as little exposure to what's going on. So it'll be special, even more special when we get there, because it's going to be. Like I said, I'm ready to be it's gonna be like a freight train hitting us, I think, in a lot of ways. So.
I don't know what to expect, and I don't want to speculate. I just kind of want to process it in real time and see what the deal is, and be present. Exactly right. So I'm really looking forward to that. And like you said, the time this episode is out will be less than 2 weeks away from traveling out west. We're going to see a Front Bottom show in Boulder, Colorado on September the 25th. And then we're going to travel west to Los Angeles. So hopefully California and Colorado both treat us well. And who knows, maybe we'll meet some people out there, and it'll be good.
Yeah, there's a lot to do in California. A lot for us to do if we wanted
Yeah.
to. So we're
A lot
going
to
be,
do, not a lot of time.
yeah.
So
So
that's all right. I like it that way.
Right. So let's move into Smashing Pumpkins.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I think when I hear Smashing Pumpkins, the first and prevailing thought I have about them is like this atmospheric type of soft interluding, intertwining music that kind of gets interrupted by these like big riffs and like almost like it's like galactic, kind of like piercing.
That's a
guitar
good word to
riffs and
describe it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like such a big flow, and it takes you. It's like that meme of Billy Corgan on the roller coaster.
Exactly.
That's exactly it. But it's so atmospheric, but it's actually I feel like you're in space coming back, and it just so like very melancholy and infinite sadness. Like that's a great album title for this band, and I think that it just has this awesome flow to their music, and it can be really like abrasive in a way.
Yeah.
And super like when they jam, dude, they rock. I mean, they like rip into their guitars. Jimmy Chamberlain is one of an incredible drummer that
He's fantastic.
could get a lot more recognition for the era. And Billy is Billy. I mean,
Right.
he's a great,
Billy
he's
and
a
James
great
Ehop
composer.
playing guitar. I mean, that's a fantastic live
And
compliment.
Darcy is.
Yeah, Darcy was great.
She's really good. Yeah. And then sometimes maybe because Billy does so much of the composing and, of course there's some beef with Billy. People are rubbed the wrong way,
Yeah,
but
and
he's a
Darcy's
great
not in the
composer.
band anymore. I mean,
Right.
Billy rules a tight ship apparently.
Yeah. And we're not going to get too much into all that because I don't know. We probably don't know the story the way that, no one
knows the story except those involved.
But there really is a great set of people. And like I said, if you can play a set with Billy and play a Smashing Pumpkins set, you are extremely talented because there's a lot of nuance in their music that
Yes.
is really, you can appreciate a lot when you listen to them.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think speaking to the musicianship, listening to the studio tracks, they're so intricate and well thought out, and Billy being the architect behind a lot of it, particularly the guitar work, it's really impressive stuff. But even more impressive is the fact that they can go out and play these songs live. And like you said, I think if you can, and they've had a lot of touring members and people who have played with them live on various tours that they've done over the last 30 years. And like you said, if you can hold on and if you can play a Pumpkin set, you are a very, very talented musician. And I think we get kind of caught up in what our favorite songs are and what our favorite lyrics might be or our favorite albums, and we think more about them as kind of a package. But when you get into the nuts and bolts of it, it's really, really impressive. I mean, even we've both said that Mayonnaise is our favorite Smashing Pumpkins song. When you really take a second to I guess when you stop thinking about the way the song makes you feel and then you just think about the way the song is, if that makes sense, and what it's composed of and what it's comprised of, it's really impressive what they're able to do. And I totally agree with what you said earlier about kind of the space that they inhabit. They're kind of almost shoegazy, and I think something that I think about a lot of the popular music of the 90s and of grunge alternative, a lot of it is just great pop writing. For example, Nevermind and Nirvana, a lot. I mean, even some Pearl Jam stuff, and there's a lot of great pop music writing. And I don't mean that as a pejorative. That's a fact. I mean, it's pop music, and they're great at writing. I don't feel that way about the Pumpkins. I feel like it's ambitious isn't. More ambitious isn't the right way to say it, because that sounds like I'm detracting against the bands that I think wrote pop music, but it's just it's super, super nuanced, I think, and it is ambitious. A lot of these albums are ambitious, and the way they put them together, they're long albums. They're
right.
There's a lot of subject matter to them, and case in point, I haven't even probably listened to more than 1/3 of what they've done in the studio, just because there's so much of it. But they're really, really talented, and kind of like they brought that kind of like shoegaze, galactic, like you said, atmospheric a little bit more to the mainstream, where it wasn't kind of as like scene specific as I think like The Cure would be, or even like some of Radiohead's more esoteric stuff, I would say.
Yeah, they're definitely coined as one of the leading alternative rock bands.
Right.
You know, Pearl Jam gets that a little bit, or The Cure and stuff.
Well, that's the crazy thing in the 90s. What the hell did alternative even mean? Because there's so many bands going blown for blow. You know, you have Pearl Jam, you have even Jane's Addiction in there. Then you have the Pumpkins. Then you have your your Kid Rock in the late 90s was, Creed. Like, what's alternative? Like, what's grunge? Who knows? I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know any of this.
Yeah, it's, oh man, they have a good library. I mean, and going back to Mayonnaise, I wanted to bring up the bridge to that, mainly the lyrics, because I just simple lyrics that make you think. It's like, we'll try and ease the pain, but somehow we'll feel the same. Well, no one knows where our secrets go.
Yeah.
And I thought about like, where do our secrets go? It's like when it's almost kind of, and this is how the Pumpkins kind of sit in my, my brain, because it's very nostalgic. And when you look back, like you have secrets like that were 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And they were so important or whatever. But then as time passes, like, those secrets, those things kind of fade away, and you don't know where they go. And, during the time you try to maybe ease the pain, if we're going back to the lyrics, but, it's just interesting. I love the idea that, like, where did the secrets go?
Yeah,
over the time, it kind of disappears into it, but then you hear these songs, and it can bring back a lot of stuff.
Yes,
and a lot of people in your life, and but it's all different. All is different now.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you say that, because I've always felt that the Pumpkins, if you were to have told me that they walked into the studio and their one objective was just to make music that sounded nostalgic and sad, and if they were like, I'm writing specifically for the disassociated 19-year-olds that are out there that miss the past or whatever, I would believe it. I mean, they just capture that so well. And it's funny because we're here, the imposters that we are, only able to give opinions after the fact, apparently off of Wikipedia only. I always wonder, like, when this music came out, did it feel as nostalgic then as it does now? I would imagine there's been an evolution to that feeling, because it's, the primary audience of this music, when Gish or when Melancholy or when Siamese Dream came out, they've, you're 20, 25, 30 years older than you were then. I know that's evolved, but even for me, the first time I listened to a lot of these songs, like a song like Space Boy or Rhinoceros or Crush or Tonight Tonight, it just feels inherently nostalgic from my first point of contact with it. And I think that's a really impressive emotion to conjure without having the backstory, because I don't listen to this band a bunch. They're not a band that I reach for all of the time. But I'll discover songs. Like I just discovered To Sheila off of the Adore album like a month ago, and immediately I'm like, holy shit, and like I'm replaying memories of my past, and I've never even heard this song before, and you listen to it, and it's so impressive the way they're able to do that. And I think for me, so much of it just comes from the guitar sounds that they have, and the tone they were able to get, and the phrasing, and the way that Billy would compose these licks and these riffs were so complementary to the sound and the tone that he decided to go with. And it's just, they serve the song and they serve the atmosphere of the songs so well. And I think another point with the Pumpkins, I think more than a lot of bands, it seems like they went in to many of their studio albums with the clear objective of making one cohesive album that flows and everything's complementary. I think when I listen to their records, always obviously front to back in order, it just flows so well, and it seems like they kind of had that greater roadmap to making music, and Billy came prepared with what his vision would be for a record.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I find, like I said, it's a lot of chaos in their music.
Yeah.
But then what happens is it kind of like they make it out. It's like almost like you're paddling down a river and you hit some heavy waters for like a quarter mile, and then all of a sudden it's completely like you come out, it's chaos, and all of a sudden you're just floating down the river because you're back. It's like back to calm because they go up and down so well, and I think that is, it's just they do it really well, and they do it differently. I mean, Soundgarden would do it, and Pearl Jam would have their jams and stuff, and then they'd go soft. But it's just the Pumpkins are different, and they are different, and that's why they did so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I definitely, I want to ask Eric Lederman about the Pumpkins. When you said like, were they always nostalgic? Because I feel like he would be a really good pulse for what it was like when, he was growing up during it. So
Yeah,
I wrote it down. We got to ask him. We got to have him back on.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I know we have a lot of patrons and certainly a lot of listeners that are of that age bracket where, they were in their late teens, early 20s, in the early to mid 90s. And I always wonder about that. You take a song like when 1979 drops, and I mean, the whole tenet of the song and the music video is just like a nostalgia bomb. So I have to imagine there was some semblance of that from the moment that it was released. But yeah, it's just really, really impressive. What is your opinion? Because I feel like this is a hot button issue that is an essential part of the Pumpkins conversation. What is your opinion of Billy's voice?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's sometimes like when I listen to him front to back, like I love their music, but sometimes I can have fatigue with his voice and the way that he like. So I can't. I like it. I do like because I think it fits. It's what I know of the Pumpkins, and it fits really well. But I do experience some fatigue at like, I don't know, song 8, like toward the second half of the record. I can start losing my love for it, I guess. But I do think that it's special. It's good. I think that when he sings softly, it's really good. Like I feel like I said that about a lot of the bands, and I'm not sure why I kind of gravitate towards that. But when there's like piano in this, when they have the really like kind of hanging on guitar riffs that he's singing over, like that's like my favorite when Corgan, but yeah, I experienced some fatigue. That's the best way I could put it.
Yeah.
without saying that at one point I can't take it anymore. There's a point where I drop off, but it's usually pretty good. How do you feel about his voice?
Yeah, I would kind of agree. I don't know anything about singing technique or whatever. And there's a lot of people, you'll see people on the internet try to dunk on Billy, for not being a good singer or whatever. And certainly
I don't care about that.
No, I don't care either. Like, I think it fits the songs, it fits what he's trying to do, and there's intent, I think, behind what he's doing. It's not like he's just throwing shit at a wall to see what sticks. I feel like a lot of the same critiques that people have for an Isaac Brock, for example, are similar to the critiques that people give about Billy's voice. I think it works perfectly with what he's trying to do. And like you said, when you hear acoustic stripped down, or when you hear slower, piano accompanied vocals from him, he knows what he's doing, and he's good at it. He's damn good at it. So it's like one of those things whenever you get a musician or a vocalist that spends a lot of their time singing loudly, kind of screaming, or being presenting abrasive vocals, I think, if that's the right way to say it. Certainly if any of their hits are that way, people tend to just assume that's all they can do, but they have a lot of latitude with what they're able to do. I mean, they can bring the noise and create chaos, like you said, just as well as they can be very delicate. And it seems like creatively they had an appetite, and they still have an appetite to do both of those things. And I think that's always awesome when you see people viewing both sides of that coin, and oftentimes presenting it to you one song after another, and certainly on the same record you get both sides, and even sometimes within the same song. I love it when bands do that. For example, I'm just thinking about it, not a Pumpkin song, but one of my favorite songs that does that is Big Empty by the Stone Temple Pilots, where the verses are super, super subdued, and then things open up in the chorus, especially live. I love it when bands do that. I mean, Mayonnaise is exactly like that, when the song kicks in and that second guitar comes in and the drums come in. It's those shift changes, I think, are so, they're such a good carrier of the emotion that I think the band is trying to bring to you. And I think that's when you feel it the most, when everything kind of kicks in. And they're really, really good at that.
I guess, going through their first 3 albums are the ones that obviously spent the most time with.
Yeah,
Gish
absolutely.
and Siamese Dream, and
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't spent any time with any of their albums really past Adore from 1998. So for me, it's really just
Right.
like the first four are the classic
Yeah.
lineup with Darcy and everything. Those are my Smashing Pumpkins. I haven't listened to anything since then, to be honest.
Exactly. No,
But that's okay.
Totally
It's not
agree.
our job. That's not our job to listen to that.
Right. And there's, I mean, Siamese Dream and Melancholy. I mean, and Gish has some great stuff. They all do. But man, those two albums really do have a lot of notable songs that people recognize.
Yes.
And you're looking at Siamese Dreams, got Cherub Rock as the opener. I love that. That was one song that we used to jam, and it was so difficult at first. It was a lot of fun to play, but it was a very difficult song. Like just high pace. And we got Today, Disarm, Hummer. I like Silverfuck a lot.
Oh yeah,
And
I was hoping we would get
really
some
good one.
Silverfuck mention in here.
So good, really good. And then I don't know, when you get, Melancholy's got 1979, Bullet, Zero, Tonight, and then one of my favorite songs is Porcelina of the Vast Oceans.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to it earlier, and it's one of those. It's like 9.5 minutes long, and it's classic. It's just classic Billy, classic Pumpkins. It's so long, and spoiler alert: this is going to be my song of the week. I'm
The
going
early
ahead and saying it
reveal.
now.
I like this
The
a lot.
early,
This
the
is
early
huge.
release. It's just. It really does exactly what I said in the beginning. It takes you on a ride. You go up and down, and like I feel like you're like searching different areas, and you just get the whole. And it's like 9 minutes go by like in a snap of your finger, and it's just great.
Yeah.
So that song was super, really really good, and I'm digging it right now. I'm listening to the Pumpkins lately. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's
How about you?
huge.
Do you have anything from those two albums that like? We haven't talked about, or something that just sticks out that you really want to.
Yeah,
Or,
I
you
I
can
definitely
bump
do.
into-
I think a lot of these songs that we're talking about, like you said, I always forget until I look at a list of all of their tracks how many instantly recognizable songs that they have.
Right.
And that's, I think anytime you can do that is really, really impressive. I mean, even a song like Drown, you know right away. Obviously 1979, you know that immediately. Bullet with Butterfly Wings. There's so many of these songs that are instantly recognizable, and they've stood the test of time, and they're kind of like emblematic, I think, of what people perceive the 90s to be now, in the mid 90s, and life as a teenager or whatever. I feel like they inhabit that space super well. But I really like the Gish album. I think I'm always impressed by bands' first albums, their first full length albums, because most of the time, that's their introduction to the music world that I know we've spoken about a lot. And Rhinoceros and Crush for me are two songs.
I was going to bring up Rhinoceros.
Yeah, I love that, and I think those are like two really, really early kind of previews of the orchestration, if that makes sense, or just the musical arrangements that they're able to put together, that we certainly saw later on with Siamese Dream and Melancholy. But they're just, it's just really, really impressive. But I would totally agree. All of those songs that you mentioned are favorites of mine. I also love To Forgive off of the Melancholy album, and Stumbling as well later on down the line. That's another one of theirs that I really appreciate. And like I said, their album from 1998, To Sheila, is just a fantastic song. There's a version of them playing that at the one of the Bridge School benefits that was, I think, the first time I had heard it was that version. And yeah, it's just a really, really good song. And I always go back and forth with the Pumpkins because I've been fans of these 3 or 4 albums for a while. You get to know them early, I think, anytime you start to dive into music from the 90s. I always go back and forth on whether or not I should get into their later catalogs, but I feel like it's one of those things that because I'm still enjoying what I know about them a lot, and the known places and the known albums, it feels kind of like too much of an assignment to get into some of their more recent stuff, and who knows if I will. But it's just one of those things that I think is exasperated for us running the page and doing the podcast, that if there's a band that created an album from 1990 to 1999, somebody's in our inbox telling us that we should listen to them or listen to more of them, and it gets super fatiguing. And I've had so many people be like, oh, like you really like you just need to listen to the Pumpkins straight for a week, and I don't have the fortitude to do it.
We're trying our best.
Yeah, we're trying our best, and for me,
it is true.
I'm comfortable sticking with what I know with this band, to be honest. But I'm always open to hearing. I love hearing stories of why songs are special to people, and that's usually what can get me to branch out into deeper waters. If someone's like, this song, like you gotta, and this is why.
Yeah, there's something about listening to newer albums for older bands, and it definitely has I don't know, there's a lot of skepticism that comes with listening to it. I have a difficult time or whatever, and it's like I don't even know why. There's no reason. If you love the band then, you should love it now, and you should
even the three new Alice in Chains albums, I've certainly spent such a diminutive amount of time listening to them compared to any of their original ones with Lane, obviously. And I don't know. But I don't think it's so much of a detraction against what they're doing recently, but it's just like, I think it's a compliment to how fucking good they were back then.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, it's hard to top I will always think that your first three albums, like when you're introduced, like that first, like that is who you are. And I know, like people get out of it, and people have a lot of other interests and whatnot, but like, it's okay for me to believe that. Well, Pearl Jam.
Well, I was just gonna say, when you think about it, I'm putting air quotes around this, like that there's a large number of people in the Pearl Jam's only good album was 10 category.
Yeah.
Yeah. They sucked after 1992.
Oh man, there is a lot of people that think that, and I mean, I don't want to say I understand it because they have a lot of other.
I can see where they're coming from though, because I just in not so many words, in a different kind of rhetorical way, I just said the same thing about why I don't listen to the current Pumpkins albums. The classic stuff still does it for me. So why would I go anywhere else? So I guess the more time I spend around these bands, the more I get it, because I was such a big fuck it, you need to listen to the new stuff, but sometimes you don't have to.
I agree. Yeah, ignorance is bliss. I don't know.
Exactly. Honestly, I love being ignorant of things like this, and if I hadn't known that the Pumpkins had released albums after 1999, I'd be all right. But now I have that burden. I feel like I have to listen as 50% of Grunge Bible. I have to listen to these things.
Dude, like we talked about, it is hard.
It's why I bought Gigaton on vinyl. I have it sitting right over there.
It is hard to post local H, it's just not easy.
That's the thing. It's not easy. It's really hard.
Yeah, we got our Q&A. Someone says, can you post more local H? And
we're trying.
We're trying, man. It's just hard.
Because here's the thing, and this is definitely going to be a little soapboxy and not related to the Pumpkins, but we sit there at our phone screens, and we can post any song in the world. We can post whatever we want. And a lot of times, Local H's lottery ticket is not being chosen.
Right. There is, there's always a chance, right? Like,
statistically, there's always a chance for anything.
Exactly. It's never zero.
And it's the same reason. But it's so true. Devil Put the Dinosaurs Here by Alice in Chains. Like that lottery ticket hasn't been chosen yet. It's just, and there's a reason. There's a reason why Even Flow's lottery number comes up all the time.
Right, like Chris, if when this comes out, we'll probably post a Smashing Pumpkins song. The odds are not stacked in. Let's see, what's the most recent? CYR, the album that came out in 2020.
Yeah, well, case in point, I don't even know the correct pronunciation of that. What that's supposed to be, or even 2014's Monuments to an Elegy. The odds are not great that we're going to select that.
We're going to use them. Yeah, and there's nothing against them. We just
But also, by and large, the whole reason why this page exists and this podcast exists is people love talking about the classics, and that's what we're here to do. Right. That's what we're here to post.
They love the nostalgia, and the
Yeah.
2020 Smashing Pumpkin albums not give them the same nostalgia because they didn't get that when they were 16. They didn't get that on, wait outside the record store, get it, sit in their car without driving away from the store because they're listening. You know what I mean? They can't focus on two things. They just want to focus on listening.
Which is why
And that's what we remember. That's why we all.
Yes.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna compliment somebody on this show right now that I don't know. This is going to be a little bit of a out of left field, but you know why? I have a lot of respect for Billy Joel. Billy Joel decided in like the late 80s, he was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not writing any more music. I'm not releasing any albums. And this man sells out Madison Square Garden like 20 times a year, and he just plays the hits, baby. Like he was like, you know what? Like he's like, I'm done. I'm not writing anything else. Like I can totally see where that's coming from. I mean, both ways. I mean, if you're an accomplished musician, you deserve to make that call. If you want to go and make a progressive rock album, you go ahead and do that. Just as if you just want to say, screw it, I'm done writing, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, and I always think about the writing process and what goes into writing the first album and the second album, and then the life events in it. And at some point, I can understand that, like, you feel like you've written about all of the situations that you've experienced. That you've written about what you have to write about. And I mean, I guess you need more time to pass. But like when people have such great influence from events and whatnot, like, I mean, I can imagine how hard the process would get. And then when your only job is to make music and you're rushing it, that's when you don't want to dilute your catalog with certain things.
It's like the Kurt Cobain quote: "Words suck. Everything has been said."
Everything's been said. Yeah.
It's all been said.
Jeez, exactly, man. But back to the Pumpkins, they are great.
Smashing Pumpkins, man. It's almost
they have a place.
It's prime season for them. The October's coming.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, these guys. Billy, he was great. He was really great for the time and the period. I wonder, it just wouldn't be the same if he wasn't out there now. Yeah. Like I would say, who's the Billy Corgan?
Well, that's the thing. Everybody's got an opinion about Billy Corgan.
Well, yeah. Well, if you guys have made it to this point of the podcast,
thank you.
You are, first off, thank you. But that means you're a prime subject to become a Patreon. Yeah. If you are listening and you've made it to episode 77, the end of it, I think it's time to ante up. We're only asking for maybe $2 a month. That's 4 episodes for $2, basically, because we don't miss. Every Monday, we're here for you. So if you're listening and you have extra time and extra cash, find $5 and ante up. That would be really awesome, and we would be very, very appreciative. So there's your end of the episode plug to become a patron, or just leave a review, right, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. We love reviews, we love emails, we love subscriptions and follows. Any of those things are fantastic.
It's time.
Yeah, I think it's time. We've been friends for a while at this point, or we've been enemies for a while.
Right. It's been one-sided for a while.
Yeah, I would say. But that's the thing. I mean, if people are here and they hate us, I mean, they don't really have many options.
If they're here and they hate us, did we win? I mean, I don't know what that
I think we won. I think we've won.
That's great. Well,
pretty good.
I guess I'd rather you like us and support us than be here and hate us, obviously.
Yeah, you should spend your time doing other things. Additionally, shout out to our producer, Drew McFadden, 77 up, 77 down, plus a small handful of bonus episodes. Drew's been here throughout all of it, and we'll see him in a couple of weeks' time. Really looking forward to that. Ethan, I was on the phone with Drew this past weekend. I don't think I have seen him in person since 2015.
Wow. I mean, yeah, that makes
It has
sense.
almost been 10 years.
Wow. You guys, I can speak on it that you guys are both very different people
Yeah.
than you were back
100%.
then.
Yep.
Drew moved out to California. You've lived in like 2 states since then. Yeah, you guys it'll be fun. That'll be good. We're definitely going to do, I talked to him as well, and we're going to do a podcast all in the same room.
Yeah.
For sure. We got to do one.
Yeah.
Do something. I'm not sure what exactly, but we'll have everybody in the same room and we'll be chatting it up. That's gonna be great. I love that we'll be able to hang out.
Yeah,
you'll be able to see him after 10 years.
Yeah, that'll be really cool. Well,
I already shared my song of the week, but
yeah, do you have any other comments about it?
No. I think I said them all. I think I've said it all.
Everything's been said.
Everything's been said. Yeah, this is your bit right now.
Wow,
you have the floor.
I have the floor. Okay,
so,
bearing in mind that this episode is released on September 12th, so you're listening to this on the 12th or later, my song of the week is going to be from the pen of Phoebe Bridgers. I'm going back to the well. I'm picking Garden's song, and for me, I listened to a lot of Phoebe Bridgers a few autumns ago, at a point in my life where I was kind of changing paths, trying to get my shit together, trying not to be a sad boy, and I listened to a lot of Phoebe, Julian Baker, Soccer Mommy, all that shit. I was hammering a few falls ago, and it's one of those things where once you get out of it, you find yourself wanting to be nostalgic about a shitty point in your life, and like you can't let yourself do that, but your brain really tries to to get you to do that. But yeah, a lot of those songs remind me of fall, particularly that fall, and it's gonna be my song of the week. I was just listening to it a couple nights ago. It came up on shuffle or something, and I was like, oh wow, like I remember this one. I remember where I was when this one was by my side. So we're gonna throw that out into the world, get that on the playlist, because we have music for all seasons on the songs of the week playlist.
That's awesome. That's a good addition. She's been on the playlist before.
Oh yeah.
So that's good. Yeah. She touring with? What did she release a tour? Last night I saw something.
She's been doing.
I kind of want to see her again.
I would love to see her again. I had a shitty experience at my first Phoebe show.
I kind of did too.
Yeah. I was at the Leader Bank Pavilion, which I said is my least favorite venue in the history of concert venues. I fucking hated it. It was terrible. The merch line was like 2 hours long, and like everybody was out there, and I was just like, you're so far away too.
So when the merch line is super long, do you wait or do you buy online?
So I waited for that one. I threaded the needle though. I was able. I didn't miss.
You cut the line.
I didn't cut the line. No, I just timed it perfectly. I saw what I needed to see from the opener, which was Muna. I saw them play Silk Chiffon along with Phoebe on stage, and I was like, all right, that's my cue. And I got in, and I was back before Phoebe got into it. So,
nice.
Yeah, they were just completely overblown because every sad boy and every sad girl was in line, and they wanted some Phoebe merch. So. Can't blame them. I was there with them.
They were ready to pay.
Yeah. What's your strategy?
Well, I was going to say sometimes, it's so simple. You can just buy online.
Right. But sometimes you get those tour exclusives that they don't put online.
Right. I was going to say exactly.
It's not easy.
I have a much higher percentage. I try to buy there because if I put it to, if I leave the responsibility to go home and buy it online, sometimes I'll push it off, and then all of a sudden, I buy a cheeseburger instead. But exactly. I try to buy, but man, I hate waiting in the line. But
it's tough.
Awesome. Well, I think that wraps her up.
I think it does.
Nice solid episode. Go out and listen to Gish. Go listen to Siamese Dream and listen to the new ones too. Why not?
Yeah, we'll hop in there.
I might too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get in there. But go listen to your Smashing Pumpkins this week. It's a great week for it. October is right around the corner, which is prime pumpkin smashing time. So
let's get to it.
Anything else, Chris?
No, that's about it. Thanks everyone for your time. And we'll see you next week.
In the words of a wise man, take it easy for all us sinners out there.
In the words of a wise man, I never made it as a wise man.
Never made it as a poor man. Stealing. All right, love you guys. Yeah. We'll be back next week, everybody. Same time. Enjoy your week.
Be well. Take care.
And lastly, rock and roll.
Rock and roll. And lastly, rock and roll.
P.S.
Fuck us. Let's get
out
of
heavy.
Here. Let's get out of here.
Right,
See you,
guys.
everybody.
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, we're done.
Yeah, we're done. We're done here, Dennis.
It's over. Let me go put my air on. It's hot.
episode 77.
7-7, yep. Ray Bork.
Would have been really cool if it was 79.
Yeah. Fuck it. We just pretend. We'll just re-release this episode for 79.
Okay.
You ready?
Sure, I got everything up. Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Just had a little better lighting. Drew's gonna be mad at me.
No,
Sorry, Drew.
alternate feed.
Yeah, let me get back to the alternate feed here soon, but not
Yeah,
today.
I don't have the ability to do that right now.
Okay.